With fourth and fifth graders, especially fifth graders, Hispanohablantes, we're still at the very beginning of their Hispanohablantes career. So we see the results of what we've done more towards the end of the year. We're still in January, but maybe in the high school level, you see a lot more the growth of the students. What kinds of things do you see that are describe or can tell us what their growth is in Hispanohablantes?
Well, I speak for, there's a step before they get to my class, they will be in Hispanohablantes Uno. I think the fruit of having a program that starts at such a young age is that you can tell what the progress of the student is when they're closer to graduation. You feel these kids are analyzing literature that is beyond what they could have thought they were going to be able to do.
And it's not something we see, it's something
it's something that we see as teaching at the higher levels. They are analyzing classic literature, they're analyzing modern and nonfiction, and it's interesting to see how they progress in their critical thinking, in how they apply this literature to their daily lives, and how do they see things connecting.
For me, what I see in my Hispanohablantes one is they come in with very basic. But for example, the class that I have right now, I see that they already progress in learning how to look for topics, how to write an essay in Spanish completely, how to analyze and look for figurative language, which it helps them in their English classes also. And one of my goals with them is a lot of my CPs, they really don't have honor classes, any honor classes, so I'm pushing to at least for them to have an honor class in Hispanohablantes, which is going to help them progress in the school and enjoy the school and all the activities that they offer, which is going to benefit them in the future.
You said how you were connecting with the other classes, and for us, we see the connection with doing what they are doing in their literacy classes, in their English literacy classes, their English classes. What we're doing in our Spanish Hispanohablantes is basically mirroring what they're doing in their English class. So the same skills that they're practicing in English, they're practicing in Spanish. And so they open their eyes real wide. Oh, we're doing this here too. Oh, we're gonna. So now they're comparing and they're seeing how much of their Spanish and their basics in Spanish can help them in English and in their English classes. So that's helpful for them.
And for us, it's really nice to see the kids get connected. Oh, I know what is inferences. Oh, I know who it is, the author. And we are doing it right now in Spanish, and they love it. They really feel like, okay, we are helping us with this kind of information. In our case, at the high school level, we are also mirroring in so many ways. Beyond that, our research shows that when they excel in a foreign language, that affects their scores when they are in taking standardized testing in other areas like that. So when we are analyzing a text or a poem or a novel or a play, that's something they have done in the English class. So by doing that, they see connections, and when in the figurative language also, they already know what a metaphor is, what a simile is. So now you're trying to teach them that in another language, and it is they find a connection, I think.
One of the connections I noticed this year is with CP1, we study about the history, where they come from, and they have the same in history, and they came back to the class and they were very happy. They were like, oh, we study all this and about the slavery in our Spanish class already, so it's helping us do better in our history class.
Same with geography for our kids in 4th and 5th grade. It's one of the things that we like the best about teaching an Hispanohablantes class. You can see how they connect, and you promote their being proud of their culture. Many of our kids that we see in 4th and 5th are very shy about saying that they're from here or from there, that they're Latino, that they're Hispanic. They want to be like everybody else. They want to belong to the greater group. But one of the things that we do the most and that we feel proud of doing is trying to help them to make that connection to their culture and be proud of that, and open their eyes to the fact that in the future, in the global marketplace, it is knowing more than one language that's going to open doors for you. It is not wonderful things that we do in high school, in middle school, but knowing a second, a third language is going to open doors for you. You're never going to be unemployed 6 months looking for a job, because people are looking for people who are bilingual, who speak 3 languages or more. They can bring something to the table that other people cannot, and they can globalize. If you work in a specific marketplace, they can globalize and be able to offer opportunities and open opportunities in different places of the world, and that's the direction that we're taking. So for us, that's one of the things that we promote the most, and one of the things that we're happiest with being able to be an Hispanohablantes teacher, that we can promote that very early on in a child's life.
I think one of the things I'm most proud of, it's the results that we've seen after. A lot of the kids that graduate, and they either as a minor, they have studied Spanish as a minor, or some of them even have following phonetics or different types of skills related to Spanish. And we've seen the growth, and some of them come to us, they tell us the advantages of being able to speak a different language, and also being exposed to that literature, that in college, if they are going to have a minor or a major in Spanish, they're going to revisit some of these.
I like that in my classes, I feel like it's a family. And we are very united, and they feel comfortable if they have any problems or anything that they don't understand. They feel comfortable to come back and talk about it. And they always say that Hispanohablantes, when they get here, especially the 9th graders, that this is the class that they feel more comfortable and they could be themselves. And they enjoy the challenge, because it's a challenge. And what they learn in my class, I'm proud that they could apply it in other places too.
I think the fact that I have the ability to teach literature at this level, being in the United States, having taught in a primarily, back in Puerto Rico, where I taught literature to native speakers, to be able to do some of those things here, it's very fulfilling as a professional. You're applying things that you learned in school as opposed to just the basics of a language. So it is very fulfilling as a professional. It is also, like Señora de la Rosa says, it's almost like a place where kids can express themselves and can be candid with each other, can build relationships in school. And a lot of the kids, because they're from different grades, they will not talk to each other unless they were in a class where it gives them the space to do this. They build relations. It's not that all of them are friends, but that they can talk about things that they normally would not talk in other classes. They can go into themes that are not necessarily discussed anywhere else, about their reality as a Latino, as a Latina living in the United States, and which facing whatever it is that the world is throwing at them. So I think it gives them a space, sort of like a reassurance, a place where they can be empowered and perhaps dream big, and a lot of them attain most of those dreams. So I think it's a
win-win.
great service.
Yeah.
for the
Señora Canca
students.
was saying the same thing about them coming to our Hispanohablantes classes and just feeling
They
like
love it.
it's a safe place for them. It's like being at home. They get to speak in their native language. They get to express themselves as they wanted to express themselves, which some of them cannot do in English. And so it's a really freeing sensation for them, and it opens them up to the rest of us.
And they feel so proud. Everyone says to me, "Oh, Mrs. Canca, I love to be in Hispanohablantes class. Everybody wants to speak Spanish to me." And I say, yes, that is the most main point. Do you feel proud of your roots? Never denied who you are and where you come from. And normally that is that I feel so proud that they love it, they want to learn, and they just want to feel it. And that is our challenge right now, and we're really proud to be part of this Hispanohablantes program.
One of the things that I would like to add is the teaching literature. It opens like a lot of doors, even in themselves also, because one of the things that they learn is that literature, no matter how old, how many years it passed, what century it was, it still applies to our lives right now, and they could do connections with what's happening in the world today and what happened before.